Ladies and gentlemen, there are 7 ways to become cold and strong. Control your emotions. Strength begins in the mind. If you let every comment, every setback, or every small inconvenience control you, you're giving away your power. A strong person doesn't react to everything, they respond with clarity. Don't suppress your emotions, manage them. Keep a calm mind, and you'll find strength that no one can shake. Learn to say no. Saying yes to everyone and everything weakens you. Stop overcommitting yourself to things that drain your energy. Saying no doesn't make you selfish, it makes you focused. Protect your time and energy like the valuable resources they are. That's how you stay cold and maintain your strength. Embrace solitude. Being alone isn't a weakness, it's a gift. In solitude, you discover who you are. You think clearer, you plan better, and you grow stronger. The strongest people are comfortable in their own company. They don't need validation, they validate themselves. Face discomfort head on. Strength doesn't grow in comfort zones. To be cold and strong, you must face challenges, failures, and pain. Growth happens in discomfort. The more you embrace it, the more resilient you become. Don't shy away from the hard path. It's where real strength lies. Sharpen your focus. Distractions are everywhere, and they weaken your resolve. A strong person is laser-focused on their goals. Eliminate what doesn't serve you. Simplify your life and concentrate your energy on what truly matters. That focus will make you unstoppable. Keep moving in silence. Sometimes strength is about quiet moves. Work hard, stay consistent, but don't broadcast every step. Let your results speak louder than your words. Real strength doesn't seek applause. It simply gets the job done. Strength begins in the mind. The way you handle your emotions determines the course of your life. If you allow every comment, every setback, or every inconvenience to dictate your reactions, you're handing over control of your life to external forces. You're essentially saying, "Here, you decide how I feel." That's a recipe for chaos. Strength is not about denying your emotions or pretending they don't exist. It's about managing them in a way that serves you, not controls you. Imagine you're on a battlefield, and every time someone fires a shot, you panic and run in a different direction. You wouldn't get very far, would you? That's what happens when you react to every little thing in life. You're jumping from one emotional extreme to another, letting the world pull your strings like a puppet. But a strong person, someone who's cold and calculated, doesn't do that. They don't react impulsively, they respond thoughtfully. To control your emotions, you have to first understand them. You need to recognize what you're feeling and why. Is it anger? Is it fear? Is it frustration? Once you pinpoint the emotion, you can begin to address it. But here's the catch. You have to do this without judgment. Don't beat yourself up for feeling a certain way. Don't tell yourself, "I shouldn't be angry," or "I shouldn't feel hurt." Emotions are natural, but how you handle them is what defines you. Think of emotions like waves in the ocean. They come and go, rising and falling, but they don't last forever. The problem is, most people fight the wave instead of riding it. When you fight it, you get overwhelmed and you drown. But when you ride it, you stay afloat. The wave loses its power over you. That's the secret. You acknowledge the wave, but you don't let it consume you. Take a moment to think about what happens when you lose control of your emotions. Maybe you snap at someone and say something you regret. Maybe you make a hasty decision that backfires. In those moments, your emotions are running the show, and you're just along for the ride. Now think about how different the outcome could be if you paused, took a deep breath, and responded with clarity instead of reacting impulsively. That pause is everything. It's where strength lives. One of the most effective ways to strengthen your emotional control is to practice mindfulness. Mindfulness is the art of being present in the moment without judgment. It's about observing your thoughts and feelings as they come and go, without getting attached to them. When you're mindful, you create space between you and your emotions. You become the observer, not the participant. That space gives you the power to choose your response instead of letting your emotions dictate it for you. Another powerful tool is self-reflection. At the end of each day, take a moment to look back and ask yourself, where did I let my emotions take over today? What could I have done differently? This isn't about criticizing yourself, It's about learning and growing. Over time, you'll start to notice patterns. Maybe you always lose your temper in traffic, or maybe you get overly anxious before a big presentation. Once you identify these triggers, you can work on responding to them in a way that aligns with your goals and values. It's also important to set boundaries, both with yourself and with others. Sometimes losing control of your emotions isn't just about what happens to you, it's about what you allow to happen. If someone is constantly pushing your buttons, maybe it's time to reevaluate that relationship. If you're always putting yourself in situations that stress you out, maybe it's time to make some changes. Boundaries aren't walls, they're filters. They let in what serves you and keep out what doesn't. Finally, remember that emotional control isn't about being emotionless. It's not about shutting down or pretending you don't care. It's about finding balance. It's about feeling your emotions fully but not letting them run your life. It's about being calm in the storm, steady in the chaos, and unshaken by the noise around you. That's strength, that's power, and that's how you become unbreakable. Discipline is the foundation of strength, and it's something far more powerful than motivation. Motivation can be exciting. It's that spark of energy you feel when you're inspired, like hearing a powerful speech or setting a new goal. But the truth is, motivation is unreliable. It's fleeting, temporary, and unpredictable. It comes and goes like a passing breeze, leaving you stranded the moment it fades. If you rely on motivation to get things done, you'll never build the consistency needed for long-term success. Discipline, on the other hand, is what carries you through when the excitement disappears, when the road gets rough, and when progress feels slow. Discipline isn't flashy. It doesn't shout for attention or demand applause. It's waking up at 5 a.m. to work out, even when you don't feel like it. It's sitting down to study or work on your craft when every part of you would rather scroll through your phone or binge watch a show. Discipline is showing up every single day, no matter how you feel, because you're committed to the bigger picture. That's what separates the strong from the weak, the ability to stick with something even when it's hard, boring, or uncomfortable. One of the biggest misconceptions about discipline is that it's about willpower. People think you have to be superhuman to stay disciplined, but that's not true. Discipline is a skill, and like any skill, it can be developed with practice. It's about creating systems and habits that make it easier for you to succeed. For example, if you want to eat healthier, don't rely on willpower to avoid junk food. Instead, remove the junk food from your home and replace it with healthier options. If you want to stick to a workout routine, schedule your workouts at the same time every day so they become part of your daily rhythm. Another key to discipline is understanding your why. Why are you doing this? Why is it important to you? Your why is your anchor. It's what keeps you grounded when things get tough. Maybe you're working hard because you want to provide a better life for your family. Maybe you're pursuing a goal because you know it will lead to a sense of purpose and fulfillment. Whatever your why is, remind yourself of it every day. Write it down. Put it somewhere you'll see it often. When you connect with your deeper reason for doing something, it becomes easier to stay disciplined, even when motivation is nowhere to be found. Discipline also requires patience. In a world that glorifies instant gratification, it's tempting to look for shortcuts or quick fixes. But true strength comes from playing the long game. It's about putting in consistent effort day after day, knowing that progress might be slow, but it's still progress. It's about understanding that the results you want won't happen overnight, but they will happen if you stay committed. Discipline teaches you to trust the process even when the results aren't immediately visible. One of the challenges of discipline is the temptation to compare yourself to others. You might look at someone else's progress and feel discouraged, thinking, why am I not there yet? But discipline isn't about competing with anyone else. It's about becoming the best version of yourself. Focus on your journey. Celebrate your small wins along the way. Every step forward, no matter how small, is a step in the right direction. Finally, discipline is a choice. It's not something that happens to you. It's something you decide. Every day you have a choice to stick to your plan or to give in to excuses. The more you choose discipline, the stronger it becomes. It's like a muscle. The more you use it, the more it grows. And as it grows, it transforms you into someone who's not easily shaken, someone who doesn't quit, someone who gets things done no matter what. Discipline isn't glamorous, but it's the key to strength, resilience, and success. When motivation fails, and it will, discipline will always be there to carry you through. Saying no is one of the most underrated skills when it comes to building strength and focus. It's simple in concept, but difficult in practice because we're often taught to be agreeable, accommodating, and helpful to others, even at the cost of our own priorities. The truth is, every time you say yes to something that doesn't align with your goals or values, you're saying no to something that does. It's not just about avoiding overcommitment, it's about protecting your time, energy, and mental clarity. Strong people understand this. They recognize that their resources are limited and treat them with the respect they deserve. When you fail to say no, you end up carrying unnecessary weight. You agree to things that drain you, things that pull you away from your path. Maybe it's a project at work that isn't your responsibility, or maybe it's a social event you don't want to attend but feel obligated to. Over time, these small agreements pile up and leave you feeling overextended and resentful. You can't pour from an empty cup, and every unnecessary yes drains that cup faster than you can refill it. Saying no isn't selfish, it's self-preservation. The ability to say no starts with clarity. You need to know what you want, where you're headed, and what matters most to you. If you don't have a clear sense of your priorities, it's easy to get swept up in other people's agendas. Take some time to reflect on your goals and values. What do you want to achieve? What's important to you? When you're clear on these things, it becomes easier to recognize when something doesn't align with your vision. And that's when you need to practice saying no. Saying no doesn't have to be confrontational. It's not about rejecting people or being harsh. It's about setting boundaries. Boundaries are essential for maintaining your strength and focus. They're not walls to shut people out. They're filters to ensure that only what serves you gets through. When you set boundaries, you're not just protecting yourself, you're also teaching others how to respect your time and energy. A strong person isn't afraid to say no because they know their worth. They understand that they don't have to prove themselves by saying yes to everything. Learning to say no is also about overcoming guilt. Many people struggle with saying no because they're afraid of disappointing others or being perceived as unkind. But here's the thing. You can't please everyone, and trying to do so will only leave you feeling exhausted and unfulfilled. You're not responsible for managing other people's expectations or emotions. Your responsibility is to yourself and your well-being. When you say no, you're not being mean. You're being honest. It helps to have a plan for how you'll say no in different situations. Sometimes a simple and direct no is enough. Other times you might need to offer a brief explanation or suggest an alternative. For example, if someone asks you to take on extra work, you can say, "I'm sorry, but I'm already committed to other priorities right now." Or if a friend invites you to an event you're not interested in, you can say, "Thanks for thinking of me, but I'm going to have to pass this time." The key is to be firm but polite. You don't owe anyone a long explanation or an apology for protecting your time. Saying no is about taking ownership of your life. It's about recognizing that your time and energy are valuable and that you have the right to decide how to use them. The more you practice it, the easier it becomes. Each no is a step toward reclaiming your power and staying focused on what truly matters. When you master the art of saying no, you free yourself from unnecessary distractions and obligations, allowing you to channel your energy into the things that align with your purpose. That's the essence of strength, staying true to yourself, even when it's uncomfortable. Being alone is often misunderstood. Many people associate solitude with loneliness, as if being by yourself is a sign of weakness or isolation. But the truth is, solitude is one of the most powerful tools for building strength and resilience. It's in those quiet moments, away from the noise and distractions of the world, that you truly discover who you are. When you embrace solitude, you step into a space where clarity, self-awareness, and growth flourish. It's not about shutting the world out. It's about stepping into your own world and finding strength within yourself. In today's fast-paced world, it's easy to get lost in the constant chatter of people, social media, and external demands. Everyone has an opinion, everyone has an expectation, and everyone seems to want your time. If you're always plugged into this external noise, you'll never hear your own voice. Solitude gives you the opportunity to disconnect from all of that and reconnect with yourself. It's a chance to reflect on your life, your goals, and your values without outside influence. When you spend time alone, you can think deeply, make better decisions, and understand yourself on a level that's impossible when you're constantly surrounded by others. One of the greatest benefits of solitude is that it forces you to confront yourself. When you're alone, there's no one to distract you from your thoughts, feelings, or challenges. This can be uncomfortable at first, especially if you're used to avoiding self-reflection. But facing yourself is where true strength begins. You learn to process your emotions, identify your fears, and understand your desires. Instead of running from these things, you meet them head-on. You develop the ability to be honest with yourself, and that honesty becomes a foundation for personal growth. Solitude also teaches you self-reliance. When you're comfortable being alone, you don't rely on others for validation, approval, or entertainment. You learn to enjoy your own company and trust your own instincts. This independence is a hallmark of strength because it means you're not easily swayed by external pressures or opinions. You're grounded in who you are, and you don't need anyone else to define your worth. The people who fear solitude often struggle with this. They look to others for their sense of identity, which leaves them vulnerable to manipulation or disappointment. But when you're secure in yourself, you become unshakable. Another important aspect of solitude is creativity and problem solving. Some of the greatest ideas and breakthroughs come when you're alone. Without distractions, your mind has the freedom to wander, explore, and innovate. Think about how many writers, artists, and thinkers throughout history have spoken about the importance of solitude in their work. When you give yourself the space to think, you unlock a level of creativity and clarity that's hard to achieve in the chaos of daily life. Whether you're working on a project, planning your future, or simply trying to figure out your next step, solitude gives you the mental space to see things more clearly. Of course, embracing solitude doesn't mean isolating yourself entirely. It's about finding balance. You can value your alone time while still maintaining meaningful relationships and connections with others. In fact, spending time alone often improves your relationships because it allows you to recharge and reflect. When you know yourself better, you're able to show up more authentically in your interactions with others. You're not seeking approval or trying to fill a void. You're sharing your true self, which strengthens your connections. Solitude is also a form of self-care. It's a way of prioritizing your well-being and giving yourself the time and space to rest, recharge, and refocus. In a world that constantly demands your attention, solitude is a way to take back your time and energy. It's a reminder that you don't have to be available to everyone all the time. You can set boundaries and choose when and how to engage with the world. This act of self-preservation is an essential part of building strength because it ensures you're not depleted by the demands of others. When you embrace solitude, you build a relationship with yourself. You become your own source of strength, comfort, and inspiration. This doesn't mean you don't need others. Humans are social beings, after all. But it does mean that your strength isn't dependent on anyone else. You stand on your own, confident in who you are and what you bring to the table. That's the kind of strength that can't be shaken no matter what life throws at you. Life is full of unexpected challenges and obstacles. At every turn, there's the possibility of disappointment, failure, or hardship. Yet how you choose to react to these moments defines your character. Complaining is the path many take. It's easy, immediate, and often feels like a temporary release. But complaining, in truth, is a thief of progress and strength. It steals your time, energy, and focus while giving you nothing in return. Complaining keeps you stuck, wallowing in frustration instead of moving forward. To be strong, you must resist the temptation to complain and instead focus on finding solutions and taking action. When you complain, you reinforce a sense of powerlessness. Think about it. When you vocalize how unfair, difficult, or frustrating a situation is, you're essentially giving up your control over it. You're placing the blame entirely on external circumstances, and in doing so, excusing yourself from taking responsibility. This mindset doesn't serve you. It traps you in a cycle of negativity and stagnation. Strong people understand that while they can't control everything that happens to them, they can control how they respond. And responding with action rather than complaint is the key to overcoming challenges. Complaining is also a drain on your energy. It may feel satisfying in the moment, but it rarely changes anything. Instead, it magnifies your problems, making them seem bigger and more insurmountable. The time and energy you spend complaining could be used to find solutions, learn from the situation, or even take steps to prevent similar issues in the future. Every moment spent complaining is a moment wasted, and strong individuals recognize the value of their time and energy. They channel their efforts toward progress, not self-pity. Another issue with complaining is that it creates a negative environment, not just for you, but for those around you. People are drawn to strength, resilience, and optimism. If you're constantly complaining, you risk alienating others and losing their respect. Complaining sends the message that you're more interested in dwelling on problems than solving them, which can undermine your credibility in relationships. Strong individuals inspire those around them by demonstrating a positive, action-oriented attitude, even in the face of adversity. They understand that leadership and influence come from resilience, not negativity. One way to stop complaining is to reframe your mindset. Instead of focusing on what's wrong, ask yourself, what can I do to improve this situation? Shifting from a problem-frontward perspective to a solution-frontward one is transformative. It puts the power back in your hands, reminding you that you're not a victim, you're an active participant in your own life. This doesn't mean ignoring problems or pretending everything is fine. It means acknowledging challenges while choosing to focus on what you can control and how you can move forward. It's also important to develop gratitude as a counterbalance to complaining. When you're tempted to complain, take a moment to reflect on what's going well in your life. Gratitude doesn't erase problems, but it shifts your perspective. It reminds you that even in difficult times, there are still things to appreciate and build upon. Strong people practice gratitude not as a denial of hardship, but as a way to maintain balance and perspective. Another strategy is to adopt a next step mentality. When something goes wrong, instead of dwelling on it, immediately ask yourself, what's the next step? This simple question shifts your focus from the problem to the solution. It trains your mind to think in terms of progress rather than setbacks. Over time, this approach becomes a habit, and you find yourself naturally moving forward instead of getting stuck in complaints. Finally, remember that challenges and obstacles are part of life. They're unavoidable, but they're also opportunities for growth. Every setback is a chance to learn, adapt, and become stronger. When you stop complaining and start embracing challenges, you build resilience. You develop the ability to handle adversity with grace and determination. This doesn't mean you won't feel frustrated or discouraged at times, but it does mean you won't let those feelings control you. You'll rise above them, using every challenge as a stepping stone toward greater strength. By refusing to complain, you're not just avoiding negativity, you're actively building a mindset of resilience and progress. You're training yourself to see challenges as opportunities, not obstacles. This shift in perspective is what sets strong people apart. They don't waste time lamenting what they can't control. They focus on what they can do to move forward. And in doing so, they become unstoppable. Emotions are a powerful force. They can lift you to extraordinary heights or drag you down into despair. While emotions are a natural and essential part of being human, allowing them to control you can be dangerous. Strength comes from the ability to master your emotions, not by suppressing them, but by managing them in a way that serves you. When you allow emotions to dictate your actions, you lose control over your decisions, your relationships, and your progress. But when you master them, you gain clarity, focus, and resilience, which are the hallmarks of true strength. One of the first steps to mastering your emotions is awareness. You can't control what you don't understand. Pay attention to your emotional triggers and patterns. What makes you angry? What brings you joy? What situations cause anxiety or frustration? By observing your emotional responses, you gain insight into yourself and can start to anticipate how you'll react in certain situations. This awareness gives you the power to pause and choose your response rather than reacting impulsively. It's important to recognize that emotions are fleeting. They may feel overwhelming in the moment, but they don't last forever. When you're angry, sad, or frustrated, remind yourself that these feelings will pass. Strong people don't make permanent decisions based on temporary emotions. They take a step back, allow themselves to feel, and then decide how to move forward with clarity. Impulsive decisions made in the heat of emotion often lead to regret, but a thoughtful response rooted in self-control leads to growth and stability. Another aspect of emotional mastery is learning to regulate how you express your emotions. Strength doesn't mean bottling up your feelings or pretending they don't exist. It means expressing them in a way that's constructive rather than destructive. If you're angry, for example, yelling or lashing out won't solve the problem. Instead, take a moment to breathe, calm yourself, and then address the issue with a level head. Emotional strength isn't about denying your feelings. It's about communicating them in a way that leads to resolution rather than escalation. Practicing emotional resilience also means understanding that not every situation requires a reaction. Sometimes the best response is no response at all. This is especially true in conflicts or arguments. When someone provokes you, reacting emotionally gives them power over you. But when you remain calm and composed, you maintain control. Silence and composure can be far more powerful than any outburst. Strong individuals know when to engage and when to walk away, preserving their energy and focus for what truly matters. Mindfulness and meditation are valuable tools for emotional mastery. By practicing mindfulness, you learn to observe your thoughts and feelings without judgment. This creates a sense of detachment that allows you to see your emotions for what they are, temporary states that don't define you. Meditation helps you cultivate inner peace and clarity, making it easier to manage stress, anxiety, and other challenging emotions. These practices strengthen your ability to stay grounded, even in difficult situations. Another key to mastering your emotions is reframing your perspective. When faced with a challenging situation, ask yourself, what can I learn from this? Or, how can I grow from this experience? By shifting your focus from the negative aspects of a situation to the potential for growth, you can transform frustration or disappointment into motivation. Strong people view setbacks not as defeats, but as opportunities to build resilience and character. This mindset shift is a powerful way to take control of your emotions and channel them into positive action. Building emotional strength also requires patience. Mastery doesn't happen overnight. It's a lifelong journey. There will be moments when your emotions get the better of you, and that's okay. The goal isn't perfection, it's progress. Each time you choose to respond thoughtfully rather than react impulsively, you're building your emotional strength. Over time, these small victories add up, and you'll find yourself more composed, confident, and in control. Finally, surround yourself with people who support your emotional growth. Toxic relationships can make it harder to manage your emotions because they constantly test your patience and resilience. Seek out individuals who uplift and encourage you, who model emotional strength themselves, and who inspire you to become better. Strong connections create an environment where emotional mastery becomes more achievable. Mastering your emotions isn't about becoming emotionless. It's about becoming emotionally intelligent. It's about understanding your feelings, accepting them, and using them to your advantage. When you can face life's challenges with calm and composure, you're not just surviving, you're thriving. Emotional mastery is the foundation of mental toughness, and it allows you to navigate life with grace, strength, and purpose. Not everything in life deserves your attention, energy, or response. One of the most empowering realizations you can have is that your focus is your choice. When you engage with every comment, every insult, or every trivial issue, you give away pieces of your strength. It's not your responsibility to attend to every battle or defend yourself at every turn. Strength comes from the ability to discern what truly matters and to walk away from the things that don't. The moment you stop wasting your time and energy on the unimportant, you free yourself to focus on what truly deserves your attention. Walking away doesn't mean you're weak or indifferent. On the contrary, it shows maturity and self-control. It takes strength to resist the urge to react, especially when emotions are running high. Whether it's a petty argument, a toxic person, or a situation that doesn't align with your values, walking away is a declaration of self-worth. It says, I value my peace and energy more than I value engaging in this negativity. This mindset is a hallmark of emotional and mental toughness. There's a common misconception that strength is about fighting every battle or proving your point at every opportunity. But true strength isn't about constant confrontation. It's about knowing when to step back. Engaging in unnecessary conflicts drains your energy and clouds your judgment. It keeps you stuck in a reactive state instead of allowing you to move forward. When you walk away, you're not avoiding conflict. You're choosing to focus on what truly matters instead of wasting time on what doesn't. Walking away also applies to people who no longer serve your growth. There will always be individuals who try to pull you down, manipulate you, or drain your energy. They may criticize you, belittle your achievements, or bring negativity into your life. While it's tempting to argue with them or try to change their perspective, the truth is that you can't control how others think or act. What you can control is how much access they have to you. Walking away from toxic relationships isn't just an act of self-preservation, it's an act of self-respect. And today's positive parent, there's immense power in silence and non-engagement. When someone tries to provoke you, whether it's through an insult, a passive-aggressive comment, or an attempt to draw you into drama, your silence speaks volumes. It shows that you're unbothered and uninterested in stooping to their level. By walking away instead of reacting, you maintain control over yourself and the situation. This composure is a reflection of your strength and confidence. It sends a clear message. You're not easily rattled, and your energy is too valuable to waste on nonsense. Walking away isn't always easy. It requires discipline and self-awareness. There will be times when your ego urges you to stay and fight, to prove your worth or get the last word. But in most cases, fighting doesn't lead to resolution, it leads to escalation. The stronger person is the one who can swallow their pride and choose peace over conflict. It's not about letting others win, it's about prioritizing your well-being and long-term goals over short-term satisfaction. It's about winning over losses. It's about prioritizing your well-being and long-term goals over short-term satisfaction. It's also important to recognize when a situation or pursuit no longer serves you. This could be a job, a habit, or a goal you've outgrown. Walking away in these instances isn't about quitting, it's about evolving. It takes courage to admit that something no longer aligns with your values or contributes to your growth. Staying in a situation that drains you out of fear, guilt, or pride only holds you back. By walking away, you create space for new opportunities and experiences that are more aligned with who you are becoming. Walking away also means trusting yourself. It's about believing that you don't need to explain, justify, or prove yourself to others. Strong people trust their intuition and make decisions that align with their values, even if others don't understand or agree. They know that their peace and progress are more important than seeking validation or approval. Trusting yourself to walk away when necessary is a profound act of self-confidence. Ultimately, walking away is about choosing where to invest your energy. Life is too short to spend it on things that don't matter. Every moment you spend arguing, defending yourself, or engaging in negativity is a moment you could have used to build something meaningful, grow, or find joy. Strong people understand this. They don't waste their time on distractions or detractors. They walk away, refocus, and keep moving forward. And in doing so, they preserve their strength, protect their peace, and remain unstoppable. Your time and energy are two of the most valuable resources you have. How you spend them defines your progress, your success, and ultimately, your life. But in a world filled with distractions and demands, it's easy to lose sight of what truly matters. Saying yes to everything may feel like the right thing to do, especially when you want to be helpful or avoid conflict. But overcommitting leaves you stretched thin and unable to give your best to what really deserves your attention. Learning to say no is one of the most important skills you can develop if you want to become strong, focused, and purposeful. Saying no isn't about being selfish, it's about being selective. Your time and energy are limited, and when you say yes to everything, you're essentially saying no to yourself. You can't pour from an empty cup, and if you're constantly giving away your time to others' requests, you'll have nothing left for your own goals, priorities, or well-being. Strong individuals recognize that they can't do everything, and they're okay with that. They understand that saying no to the things that don't align with their values or objectives is a way of protecting what's most important to them. One of the hardest parts of saying no is the fear of disappointing others. Many people worry that by turning down a request, they'll be seen as rude, uncooperative, or uncaring. But the truth is, saying no doesn't have to be confrontational. You can decline respectfully and thoughtfully. When you set boundaries with kindness and clarity, most people will respect your decision. And if they don't, that says more about them than it does about you. Strength isn't about pleasing everyone. It's about staying true to your values and priorities, even when it's uncomfortable. Saying no is also a way of setting boundaries, which is essential for maintaining balance in your life. Without boundaries, you're at the mercy of everyone else's needs and demands. Boundaries are a way of saying, this is what I'm willing to give, and this is what I need to protect. They're not about shutting people out. They're about creating space for yourself to thrive. Strong individuals set and enforce boundaries because they know that doing so is necessary for their growth, focus, and mental health. Another aspect of saying no is prioritization. When you're clear on your goals and what truly matters to you, it becomes easier to decide what to say no to. Not every opportunity, invitation, or request deserves your attention. Some things may seem urgent or important in the moment, but when you step back and evaluate them against your long-term goals, they don't hold up. Strong people take the time to reflect on what they want to achieve and use that clarity to guide their decisions. They don't let themselves get sidetracked by things that don't align with their vision. Saying no also frees you from the trap of mediocrity. When you try to do everything, you can't excel at anything. Your energy is divided and your efforts are diluted. By saying no to distractions and low-priority tasks, you can focus your full energy on what truly matters, whether that's a personal goal, a professional project, or your relationships. This focus allows you to produce your best work and make meaningful progress. There's also a psychological strength that comes with saying no. It reinforces your sense of autonomy and control over your life. When you say yes out of obligation, guilt, or fear, you're essentially giving away your power. But when you say no, you're asserting yourself and taking ownership of your time and choices. This sense of empowerment builds confidence and self-respect, which are crucial components of inner strength. Saying no isn't always easy, especially if you're used to being a people pleaser or if you've been taught to prioritize others over yourself. It's a skill that takes practice, but the more you do it, the easier it becomes. Start small. Say no to one thing that doesn't align with your priorities. Notice how it feels to protect your time and energy. Over time, you'll find that saying no becomes second nature, and you'll start to feel the benefits of a more focused and intentional life. Lastly, remember that saying no to others often means saying yes to yourself. It's an act of self-respect and self-care. It's a way of prioritizing your well-being, your goals, and your happiness. Strong people don't feel guilty for setting boundaries. They see it as a necessary part of building the life they want. By learning to say no, you create the space you need to grow, succeed, and thrive, all while staying true to who you are. In the journey of life, strength isn't just about enduring hardships or facing challenges head-on. It's about how you choose to navigate those moments. Becoming cold and strong doesn't mean becoming unfeeling or disconnected. It means developing the mental and emotional resilience to protect your peace, stay focused on your goals, and prioritize your growth. By embracing solitude, silencing complaints, mastering emotions, walking away from negativity, and saying no to distractions, you reclaim your power and create a life rooted in purpose and intention. Being strength is a choice, built moment by moment through self-discipline, self-awareness, and courage. It's about refusing to let life's chaos dictate your path, and instead, standing firm in your values, boundaries, and priorities. When you live this way, you don't just survive, you thrive. You become unshakable, a force of clarity and determination in a world full of noise. And in that strength, you inspire others, leading by example, and proving that resilience isn't just about enduring, it's about rising above and creating the life you deserve.